Any day that Chelsea plays is a good day, and this is one of those. Tuesday evening, we are facing Southampton, bottom of the league. We are position 6, 1 point off position 7, 1 point off position 4. If we win this game, we go back to top 4. Now, my question was whether, as a Chelsea fan, if you look at this season and compare to last season, do you feel like we have improved or we are digressed? Like, is this something you expected at the start of the season? Is it like, for me, I'll say at some point, I did not expect much when we started this season. I felt Man City and Liverpool will still be fighting for the title, and us, and probably I knew or I expected we would be in top 4, but just number 4, like it will be either Liverpool or Man City, and then Arsenal, then us at position 4. But then at some point during the season, I felt like we were really good, like winning or title contending was possible. But then things just happened. And now a lot of people have been saying, or a lot of my friends, Chelsea fans, have been telling me that, no, the season is over. We are not going even to concentrate with the remaining games. And for me, I mean, I usually see the period between June, and even August before the friendly start is usually, for me, some of the most boring months. Like the weekend usually just looks the same as weekdays. And it's because there's no football. Like football is everything. Without football, this world will suck. And now I want to cherish this moment, like the remaining 12 games that we are going to face, like we are going to play. Every other game, I want to feel everything, because I know when the football is not there, when the games are not being played, it's usually boring. I will always be like counting days, counting like 29 days to Premier League, 30 days to Premier League, 40 days. And it's not just Premier League, it's the other games, even KPL, even La Liga, even Bundesliga. Like, for me, I want to enjoy all these 12 games. I want to feel everything. I want to feel a kick. I want to feel an air. I want to get all the emotions. I want to feel a goal. I want to like just enjoy every minute from the start of the game to the end, be it 96 minute, 98 minute. I want to feel every moment. I want 20 years from now, when somebody comes and asks me, hey, do you remember in 2025? Hey, it's 2025, man. Days are moving too quick. 2025 when we faced Southampton, and I can recall every moment. I'll be saying, you guys, like you did not see how Caicedo was tackling in the 30th minute, but did not see how prime Reece James was doing. Like you did not see how, like I want to feel every moment. I want in future, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, I'll be able to recall this moment, and I can only do that if I feel like the way sometimes I usually feel that Drogba header, like every time with Bayern Munich, like it was just a emotion, a roller coaster every time, and I was so fixated into the screen, and it was like at the end of the game, and it was hell. But then when he scored, like I can feel everything, I can see everything, I can even see the sweat, I can even see the movement, everything from the corner, from how the ball moved. That's how I want to feel this season. Every time, every moment, and just to remember, because that time we'll be having some players, they'd be called, like it has happened in the past. Like right now, you see a lot of players with those being called, I don't know, Ronaldo who. And it's funny because the people who are progressing to higher Premier League have very unique names, and those people who are called like Rooney somebody, Rooney Omondi, Rivaldo somebody, they have not progressed, like they are failed. well, YouTubers, like you meet a Rivaldo OWINO, and meet him in the street and you see, your father had a dream, but now look at where you are. Like whenever he sees you, it's like he's seeing Arsenal. Can't win on anything. Anyway, I've tried to make the squad for Southampton today, and I feel there's nothing that there's very few things you can change from the squad that was there last week. Like Maresca was spot on last week. I've said it every video since last week, since last game. I've said it that Maresca was on point, and why we lose was just a mental thing, and getting tired, and probably did not make the substitution early, like in game management. But with the squad that started, it was so good, and that's why I feel even with Southampton, we should start the same squad, just with one change. Again, Jorgensen and Sanchez, any. I feel I've always said this. There's no big difference between the two. Jorgensen is good with the ball on his feet. Sanchez is a short stopper. In any way, I don't know how Southampton plays because they have not been scoring a lot of goals. Some of the goals they score is just like, that's the thing with teams that perform. Like I can tell, like even with Aston Villa, I could tell because there's a whole bunch of goals they have scored. So if I'm looking at all the highlights, if I'm looking at how they scored, I can create a pattern on how they score. I can know that, okay, this is the number of goals that Watkins scored, this is the number of goals that Rogers scored, and this is how they scored. If I look at Liverpool, I can know this is the number of that Salah scored. Like, it's easy to, even as a coach, to work with a team like that. With Southampton, sometimes the goals are so far much apart, and it usually comes from everybody. Sometimes it's the right back scoring, sometimes it's the striker scoring, sometimes it's the mid scoring, sometimes it's a corner, the defender is heading, and now you feel like, okay, the pattern of play is much like, we are defending, we are trying to hold, we are trying to stay at 0-0 for as long as we can. But if we get a chance to hit on a counter attack, or we get a corner, free kick, anything, we make the most out of that chance and then try to prevent the other team from playing. So you just can't create a way of playing against that team. Like, you have to impose your game, and that's why I feel like Maresca now has to impose his game on the team. Like, of course, Premier League, every team is hard. Every team has like the top of the top of players. Every team is so good. Every team has, like, you can take any player from Southampton and put in any, but the form and the way they play, and you just see like the caliber of players is not as equal to any top team. So, and it's just how they play, and they're losing a lot of games, so you just can't approach them with fear. You can't just approach them with, I know at some point we are usually the charity organization in Premier League. As certain at certain points, like I felt even with Potter, like at sometimes we would be beating, I don't know, like mid teams, then we find a team that has been losing through, and then they just see, we are facing Chelsea. This is our point. This is our time to prove. And I was even thinking that at some point, all these players think is that Chelsea is signing anybody. So you just have to play like so good against them. Even when Brighton were playing with us, now you see Mitoma just all of a sudden turns into Messi, and now he's dribbling a lot of people, and you're asking, like, you're just looking for a contract. You want Chelsea to sign you. This is not who you are. This is not how you play. And that has happened every time. When we faced Pulisic, before we signed him, like he was running us down. When we faced as Ajax with Ziyech even scored was it a corner or a free kick from the corner side? And when they come here, now, it was just a one-off. It was that game where this is my interview. Like you are approaching a game like it's your interview. Now, a lot of players approach this Chelsea as an interview, and I don't want to go to first Southampton, and then all these players feels like they are in an interview because again, all these players, the team is not even likely. It is certain that the team will be relegated. Now, the players themselves, I don't think if they want to go to relegation, unless it has to be, I don't think they want to go and play in championship. So every team, every player in that team will be trying to get to a team in Premier League. So this is one chance because Chelsea has shown over time it will be signing just anybody. It signed all. They are coming from championship. Like a lot. It's one case that I haven't seen. I don't know if anybody knows. I don't remember a player that was signed by the top four teams or uh, a team that is going for the league from championship when they are already, because they are not young. You can sign a person who is 19, 20 because they're getting a chance or they're doing so well, or those people who went on loan and they became the better version of themselves, or they became the top players in that team. Of course, all was a top player in that team, but he was not scoring. He was just following instructions. Sometimes when you play in the mid, it's just simple game, simple way of playing, and then you get signed. But the opposition you are facing is not that. You will not expect to play the same way in Premier League if you are playing the same way in Championship. You can ask all these teams. You can ask Leicester. You can ask Southampton. You can see where they are right now, and you can tell there's a huge difference between the Premier League and the Championship. So you just can't say that a person who plays in Championship in the same way will come and play the same way in Premier League. It's not given. It's even laughable to think of that sort. You can take somebody who's developing or somebody who, like when Pookie was like doing numbers with Leeds, was it Leeds or Norwich? And then you see him and you say like, okay, he's so good, like he's scoring all this. And then he came here and he was scoring, but he wasn't even the top. Was he in top 10? I don't think he was in top 10. He was scoring a lot. I had him in my fantasy, but he was not scoring every other week. So again, he'll be doing a lot comparatively to the peers, but you can't tell him that you'll bring Pookie and then he will be at the same level as Haaland. No, it can't be. So if you're going to fight a team that has Haaland, you can't take Pookie and put him in front and then wish that he would be playing the same way as Man City plays. It's wrong. It's laughable. It's even funny. Now, I was talking about the defenders. I'll say Gusto, Tosin, Colwill, Cucurella. Chaloba, I think he had an injury the last time. I don't know if he's well. I haven't seen the videos with. Did I say? I saw Maresca press conference, but I didn't see him talking about any new injury. But then he went out, so I'm sure like he went out like 2 days ago. I'm sure that even if they had a training session, it was once, and I don't expect him to come and fit in. We have Tosin, and then James and Caicedo again. Right, Enzo, Palmer, Neto, with Nkunku again. The body language when a player just shows that you can tell. Like sometimes things just don't work out. Like you are a good player, you are doing so fine, you are at your best. But then the culture might be different, the people might be different, the way we play might be different to you. Now, I'm not saying Kunku is a bad player. I think Kunku is one of the best players in the world. He's a world class player. If you remove the bunch at the top, if you remove the now, who's at the top right now? Mbappe, Vinicius. Is Palmer little at the top? I was some time back. I felt he was on top of the. I don't know right now because I don't know if it's the body language or it's just. Is it the team is shit again? And then we have Salah, uh, who again is at the top. So if we remove those bunch, Kaisedo is also there. But then if you remove that bunch, then this tire just following it, you'll have people like Nkunku there. But now Nkunku does not fit in how we play, or is not just motivated to play the same way we want to play. Is not playing the same way. Like you could say a bunch of players like have to play in a certain system to fit in. Like even if you go to Milan, people like who's this guy that we want? And I just felt that he will ruin his career if he comes here. I just feel the Milan trickster, dribbler, right winger. Is it right winger? Yeah. No, left winger. Oh fuck, can't recall his name. But all these guys, they might be good, but they won't fit at every league. They're not Messi. They're not too OP for the opponent. And now, this is my lineup. I just wish that we win this game. I predict that we will win this game again. I feel like we will score probably 3-1. Of course, we can't keep a clean sheet. So that one will still find a way to score us. But with that front, if it comes right with the Southampton defense, we are going to win that game. We are going to win that game. Like put all your money on that. Good day.